Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Gimme That Take, the fastest growing LIV Golf podcast of 2023. Stick around for more takes like this.
What is the generic Lego piece? Like if you were going to say, if you were going to describe one piece of Lego, one thing, what color, what shape, what size?
It's blue and it's the 2x2 brick, the square.
The square.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because when I picture a Lego, I picture yellow because isn't yellow like the color of
The yellow is the color of the Lego people. That's right. Which the Simpsons took from.
Oh, Simpsons. Okay.
I just made that up. I don't know.
Oh, God. The
Matt
Simpsons
Groening,
have done everything.
I know. Matt Groening, feel free to reach out. Let us know if that's right or not.
Why the F did someone invent Legos? Like what purpose did the Lego serve back in God, I don't even know. I'm gonna look this up while you answer this for me. What year Legos were founded?
So this is it was like the 50s or 60s. They came out, they're Norwegian of some sort. I want to say like Sweden or Norway is where they came out of. I mean, you know,
I did not know you were a Lego historian. Danish.
Yeah, okay. It's Norwegian. Okay.
Yep.
I'm Danish. So point of pride. No.
Apple
So I loved
cheese.
playing I loved playing with Legos as a kid. I have Legos on my wall. I got some Batman Legos and Star Wars Legos and stuff like that. I got a little Lamborghini that my brother gave me that I put together. So I'm a fan. And I mean, if it was winter 9 months out of the year, you'd want to, put something together and break something apart so you wouldn't kill yourself and everybody around you. So it makes sense to me a little bit.
Okay, so the original Legos were like wood. Makes way more sense. But
obviously,
but the transition to this stupid and like, all right, we'll start here. What is the generic Lego piece? Like if you were going to say, if you were going to describe one piece of Lego, one thing, what color, what shape, what size?
It's blue and it's the 2x2 brick, the square.
The square.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because when I picture a Lego, I picture yellow because isn't yellow like the color of
the yellow is the color of the Lego people. That's right. Which the Simpsons took from.
Oh, Simpsons. Okay.
I just made that up. I don't know.
Oh, God. The
Matt
Simpsons
Groening,
have done everything.
I know. Matt Groening, feel free to reach out. Let us know if that's right or not.
Okay,
obviously I know you're listening, so
yeah, obvious. So you think the 4x4 was the original block? Because to me, it seems like there are far more 2x2. You said so. If there are far more 3x2 yellows than anything, I feel like if you like went and dug through your Legos, you'd find more 3x2 yellows than any other one.
I mean that's a solid case. I just think of like when it was first developed. I mean, what do you start with? The classic foundation for anything is, a square. So
it is, but you can't build anything with Legos unless you have a bottom.
I mean, you're a bottom. We build tons of stuff out of you. You teed that up for me.
I did.
Sorry.
Okay, so the best thing you ever made out of Legos as a child before you turned into an adult child and built really cool things.
No. They didn't like nowadays they have, everything has been licensed out. So you have Harry Potter and you have Marvel and DC and everybody's got their finger in the pie, and good for them because they're it's all about making money, right? I'm sure if the PGA could get into it, they'd do the same fucking thing. But back in the day, that wasn't really a thing. It was more like, you had the space set, and then you had like medieval knights and stuff. And I remember I had a spaceship, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna bring something, and you're gonna tell me what this Lego item is. Hang on.
Okay.
Probably should have had the props ready for the
You
the
totally
show.
should have.
Yeah,
It's
I mean
okay.
they're right here in the room. I'm gonna break my kid's Lego shit, and he's gonna be so mad. Can you see that?
You made like a rudimentary car.
That's a decent car, right?
Yeah. Or like a tractor. Could be a tractor.
A man standing on a rocket. Maybe this is Kim Jong.
And that is
Kim
like
Jong-il.
the original sets from the late 80s, early 90s. I had those sets. And I bet if I were to drive to my parents right now and get the tub of Legos that they've held onto in the attic, all that would be in there. Yeah.
God, this is the longest setup ever. Just to Tucker wanted to know if this thing could make it down to the Titanic.
In all technicality, yes, the plastic probably would last a good while. I mean, the thing is, once you get past 10,000, I think it's like 100 atmospheres at that point. So, unless it was solid plastic, it would be crushed into a tiny little bead of plastic at that point. Because you got to think of the weight of all that water is sitting on top of itself.
Right.
And that's why the atmospheric pressure multiplies as you go down thousands of feet. So at 13,000 feet, it's absolute crushing.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. All right. Last thing on the Legos.
Okay.
A whole bag of yellow.
Nice.
And a whole bag of blue.
Did you just order him Legos on eBay? Is that?
I think these are like passed down from generation to generation. I have no idea. I have no idea.
That's what I plan on doing.
I did not. I was not a Lego person myself, but obviously.
Yeah. That's why you have no imagination. It makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk like slightly about me. Got back from Hawaii.
It's like my second favorite thing to talk about.
Got back from Hawaii. Aloha hat. What a gorgeous course. I just want to shout out the people who are listening because I'm sure there were a few of them. The starter on the first hole, who was absolute bomb. It was like I don't know, 8:00 in the morning. He's like, you know what, man? It's gonna rain a little bit later. I'm gonna send you out on the back by yourself, and you're gonna get to play all 6 right on the ocean holes alone in the perfect weather of the day. And I'll start you on
damn.
And I was like, oh, all right. I'm not gonna say no to that. So I got to play. Of course, it was and right after he said that, the rain just came out of nowhere on hole 10. So 10 was a rainy hole, but once I made the turn out to 11 and then 12 and then down the ocean all the way down in back to the clubhouse, it was amazing. Such a truly the ocean course at Ho'aku'aulea. I don't know. Ho'aku'aulea.
Your enunciation is awful, but
okay. I spent 8 days there. I could not pronounce it.
You know what? You gave it a shot, and I appreciate the fuck out of that. They don't. They hate when us Howleys try and pronunciate all their stuff. They really do.
If you're listening from Hawaii, thank you. The 2 dudes that I played with on the front 9 from the cruise ship, Tucker and Sam. I never remember. I know Tucker because it's my kid's name. The other one I don't remember. Cool guys, good times. Played in the rain. Had some really actually awesome shots. Got a couple good drinks on the course and had a blast. So thank you guys for listening. I had a great time with you on the golf course. Hope to see you out in Hawaii again. If you ever get a chance to golf in Hawaii, Kauai is probably either that or get all the way up in the northwest of Maui and go on to one of those courses. Kapalua, I think, is probably. We had brunch there one morning, right near the golf course, by the Ritz-Carlton. It was gorgeous. Anyway, enough bragging about Hawaii. Hawaii was amazing. If you can't tell, we missed recapping the U.S. Open. Not a LIV championship, but some decent LIV finishes. Cam Smith continued his nice run.
A good amount of guys were in the top 20, top 40. So it's not
solid showing. I mean, this argument's over. It's been over forever. That LIV can't compete. I mean, we're not arguing about that any longer. But we do want to see the LIV guys play well against the PGA guys, of course. That's something that we're gonna
always
wholeheartedly root for. But we're getting back to the LIV schedule now. taking the turn going into the second half. We got 7 events down, 7 to go. Going to start their European tour, if you will, in Valderrama. But before they get to Valderrama, let's just recap how the teams stand here. Halfway through, the defending champs, the 4 aces, are still on top. They're in first place with 124 points. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 3 finishes in 7 events. Incredible. That's just super consistency. Stinger GC making some noise. They are currently in second place in the team's scoring with 108 points, with 3 top 3s, but 3 fourth place finishes as well. So right there, minus Singapore, Stinger's been really good all year, kind of quietly really good all year. Then you have Torquay, who have 2 wins, two top finishes in Orlando and then in DC. They have 97 points. And then you kind of have some teams who are, I don't know if they're totally in the mix, but they're not out of it for sure. The Range Goats are not. Last 4 events, all 4 events, top 4 finishes. So they're riding high right now. And of course, the Crushers, they won the initial event way back, Mayakoba, and they came in 3rd in Singapore. They've got 80 points. So Range Goats at 91, Crushers at 90. Then you get into like a hairy region here where the Fireballs have a win and a second place, but only 66 points because they don't really have any other points to show for it. So I think everybody else below, I think there's not much hope for Smash, Ripper, Ironheads, High Flyers, Majestics.
I mean, unless the wheels fall off for the top 5, it's kind of over. The top 5 will definitely have a shot at, jockeying for that place and atop the standings for teams at the end. But below that, I mean, the wheels would really have to fall off for the top 5.
Yeah, you just can't see it. You can't see the 4 aces being a disaster. You can't see Torquay being a disaster. The Range Goats, of course, not. They're just so those 3 teams, and then like I said, Stinger has been quietly really good. A team that probably even if you follow LIV, you probably wouldn't have guessed that Stinger was in the top 3 unless you were following really close. So, interesting stuff. Going into the second half, your prediction for. I know we predicted going into the season who we thought was going to win. And your boys are sitting in 5th place. So are you predicting your boys to come all the way back?
It's going to be tough, but I think that I think there is a chance that we can definitely do it. I think that's going to come with the emergence of Bryson being an actual, not just being a leader in terms of the captain of the team, but also his game has done very well the last month or 2 months. He's really kind of come back, and I think that alongside everyone doing really well else on the team, I think there's a really good chance we could do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's top 3 is definitely not out of the question for Crushers GC. I think that would be something that they would be really excited about. That is a really tough grouping there between Torquay, the Range Goats, and the Crushers. Those 3 teams are very interchangeable in my mind. They all have a couple top players, and it's going to be interesting to see here with this European stretch. We're going to talk Valderrama. We won't have our picks this week because Jay is not here with us on tonight's show. So we will get those to you via Instagram. So if you don't follow us on Instagram already, we'll put up a graphic with our 3 picks midweek. So you can get your bets in for Valderrama. But going from Valderrama to London, to just continuing on, and then back to Greenbrier, which is like West Virginia, I think, and then Bedminster. These 2
Can't
here.
wait for Bedminster.
I know, I'm pumped too. But the Valderrama and London, of course, everyone's going to be all over Fireballs and Majestics for this thing. But don't forget, like the Torquay guys, not from America either. So, Stinger, not an American team. So Ripper, not an American team. What that's like one of my favorite. One thing I didn't think I was going to be really excited about was how these international teams would perform, and how excited I would be to see guys who aren't just like, no offense, Wyndham Clark, congratulations on your U.S. Open win, but is there a wider name or more poster child for the guy is going to win the U.S. Open every year?
I mean, I feel bad for his brother Marriott Clark. I mean, at least he was conceived at a Wyndham.
That was worse than cheese or apple Danish.
Yeah,
that one was way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So All-Star break heading into the second half. We will be at an event in the second half, so we're excited about that. It's getting closer and closer by the day. Can't wait. Did you play golf?
I did play golf.
Okay.
Played on Tuesday. Well, I played about
multiple times. Yeah.
I played 3 rounds since the last time we did a show.
All right. How you hitting them? Let's start there. How you hitting the driver?
I'm hitting the driver better than I've hit the driver in 3 years.
Okay.
Very, very happy about that. I'm hitting my irons really well. What's holding me back right now is my wedges, especially the under 50-yard chipping. That's really what's hurting me, is that now I'm able to drive to a point where I'm like, I just need to chip on, and I'm fucking it up every which way. So I've been focused on in the backyard, practicing, trying to figure it out so that my game can get better in that way.
Have you ever thought of not hitting the ball to like 40 yards away from the hole, to hitting the ball like 100 yards away from the hole or 110 yards away from the hole, because you can take a full swing? Because you see guys play all the time. You look at them and they're like, why are they hitting, it's a 400-yard hole. Why are they hitting a 6-iron off the tee? And they're only hitting it like, 215 or whatever. And you're like, they feel most comfortable hitting that 175 or that 160, So have you ever considered hitting a different club off the tee on those holes where your blow up scores happen because you're too close to the green off the tee?
That's a very interesting thought. No, that's a tactic that I could use next time to see how that affects everything.
Yeah, I think getting yourself into, as you're learning your clubs and your distances, getting yourself into full swing shots is going to help your score. Not as much as having good touch around the green, because most of your shots are within 50 yards anyway, right around the green or putting for sure. But if you can take away, if you don't have to take 2 shots to get on the green from 50 yards, you know what I mean? That you're taking away 2 shots on a hole, and then if you're hitting in from 130 and you might leave it like just right or just left, now you got like a 2-yard chip, not a 42-yard chip. Those shots are hard for everybody, and you don't see a lot of the professional guys hit those shots. Why? Because they're hard. Those are the hardest shots to control. We saw that. I think it was hole 8. Was that the par 3 that was like 250 at the U.S. Open?
I think so.
I think it was hole 8, and like the guys were trying to hit it in the bunker because they wouldn't have been able. The guys who hit it behind the bunker were making bogeys, and the guys in the bunker were making pars, because hitting a shot from 26 yards is not something that these guys do. 66 yards, 46 yards. There's not the distances, because it's just too hard. It's too hard to figure out to judge your distances and control the ball from that distance. So I think if you're struggling from a 50-yarder or 40-yarder, well, then you hit the ball too far off the tee. So go down a club, go to hit a hybrid or a long iron or so, whichever club you feel more comfortable hitting, hit that out there instead of hitting your driver, 228 or 235 or whatever you're hitting it. Like, hit your hybrid 200, and now you're going to have a 90-yard shot, which might be like a full 56 or something for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just don't listen to me. I'm not.
It's an idea.
Yeah. Besides golfing at one of the most beautiful courses in the world, I shot 79, which was amazing. Had a couple birdies on the back 9, or the back, which was the front, for me. But I've had too many good rounds this year, and my handicap is now a single digit. I finally got
What
to
a fucking problem to have, ladies and gentlemen.
I finally got to 9.8, I think I'm at currently. And it sucks. It sucks. Because now I give everybody shots like for half the holes. I'm not that good. I'm not. Or worse. 2 shots on some holes. Fuck that. Handicaps are stupid. Anyway. If you guys made it to the end of this episode, Jerome's going to tell you what you can do now.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hit the follow button, hit the bell in the corner so that you get notifications when we're posting our videos. Check us out on the rest of the social medias, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the Twitters. Interact with us. We want to hear from you. We want to interact with you. We appreciate comments that you guys make. I know I go in there and I try and like all the comments, and if nobody's ever said anything directly to me, but I'm always willing to answer a question or chat about anything. So thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for more.
Yeah, and if you built something cool with Legos, we'd throw that in there too.
Yeah.
Whenever Jerome and I are doing, just our group shows, we talk about the most random shit. So figured Legos today. I didn't know you made all those weird Lego things, man. I had you pinned for something, but I didn't think it was Legos.
I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Later.
We'll be right back.